This week we're driving the 2022 Chevy Bolt EUV, and seeing as how I've never spent any time in a Chevy Bolt, I'm excited to get in this thing and see what it's like. I don't have Charlie with me at the moment because he's currently on his way to return our Polaris Slingshot loan that we've had now for a few weeks, and as you can see, it is perfect weather for a Slingshot. In fact, it's starting to drizzle slightly. So let's hop in this Bolt EUV, see what it's like. These will just be some very mild first impressions, very first impressions, just to see how this thing does. One thing worth noting is we do have Super Cruise on this, so that is a very, very cool and helpful feature. Okay, so you push up to turn the cooled seat off. Interesting, okay. This is the first time I've started this car up. Very raw first impressions. Oh, no! Blah, 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 blah. No demonetization. Checkered flag button. Sport mode. We'll start not in sport mode just to see how that goes. Looks like this is for one pedal driving. Yep, we'll want that on. Pretty cool blue upholstery in here. I am just on my way to lunch and Charlie said, take the Bolt and record your first impressions. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay. Well, this feels like a very, very tall thing. Got a window sticker up here in the visor. We'll probably just leave that for now since we're already driving. Manual adjust steering column. What this does is probably... Okay, so quite a bit of instant torque, but we just don't have any grip because the front wheels are just spinning like crazy. Screw it. Traction off, sport mode. Bolts are so funny in the way where they just spin tire like crazy. Okay, so pull out onto the road here and see what some of this instant torque is like. Let's try and beat this semi. Okay, pretty decent getting up to speed there. Let's turn traction back on and we'll get out of sport mode, numb down our throttle response a little bit. So one thing I am noticing, the seating position is very high. I keep trying to lower the seat down and I just feel like I'm sitting in the ceiling. This being the EUV, of course, it is the slightly taller variant of the Chevy Bolt. So they do, of course, make a smaller version of this if you don't need the, well, SUV-ness, I suppose, EUV. Pretty good bite from that one pedal drive. And we're going to try Super Cruise, but with having a GoPro on my face, I don't know that it's going to like that too much, but we'll try it and see if it'll let me do it. The last Chevy we had with Super Cruise did not so much appreciate me using it when I was wearing my camera, so we'll try it now and just see what it does. That's gap, oops, and set. Okay, ooh, okay. Cruise control, cruise braking on, adaptive cruise set to 66, set this to 70. Okay, but, oh, here we go, Super Cruise, okay. Alright, Super Cruise is active here, as you can see. The green bar on the top of the steering wheel indicates that. Oh yeah, okay, it looks like it's actually working here with the camera on my face. I've got to say, Super Cruise is one of the most impressive systems of any car. Look at this, it's even telling me that I'm in a construction zone right now and to be cautious, even though it's the one driving, but thanks, Bolty, appreciate that. And it is also starting to rain. Ooh, Charlie's getting wet. Now, that's the rear wiper. Looks like we probably have some auto wipers here. Let's see how those do. So we got auto wipers going and we're super cruising. Cool. We'll have some more in-depth impressions in a little bit. Overall, though, seems to be a pretty fun little package. Since we're super cruising, we can see how much it is. 43 grand. Okay, it doesn't seem too terrible. But there you go. Raw first impressions of the Chevy Bolt as we get cut off by Penske truck. Okay.
We just heard a fun noise in the Bolt. Probably won't really be able to see it very well on camera, I'm not sure, but there's an entire weather stripping or something.
That's not showing up at all on camera.
Okay, that is entirely you can probably hear it if you just hold the phone kind of close to the...
I got you.
You're gonna use your light? There you go. It might just reflect.
There it is, you can see right there.
Great. Car literally falling apart as we drive down the highway.
There it is. Pretty bad. There it is again. Jeez.
The entire top piece of weather stripping decided to free itself from the car while driving back from Detroit. So now, presumably, this is no longer watertight, and Chevy kind of sucks.
I'll hang myself with it.
Wow. So, yeah. Let's see if we can push this back in. 1 week and 1 day after getting the Bolt delivered to us here, Chris has gotten a little bit of extra time behind the wheel, as have I. I've spent quite a lot of time in it, and I actually need to remember everything I say because I've already shot a wrap for this, but that was before we got the extension on this, and I had to do it without you, and I know the viewers would have been disappointed to have a solo wrap, but now we have Chris back, and we're ready to talk about the Angry Gray Hamster.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good... Maybe more like a guinea pig because it's slightly bigger than a
You're
hamster.
right. It does look a little bit more like a guinea pig. It's the Angry Gray guinea pig, not gay, gray.
Gray.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Although maybe it's gay. We got no problem with that.
No,
2022.
I
We're at Daily Motor.
haven't asked it if it's
it's
what it prefers.
what it
But yeah.
I've been a big fan of this car, and what's interesting is I expected for it to be a very just like a smart car to buy, like. Yeah, this is a good second car, but not to really move you and satisfy you.
Right.
That's not the case. Alyssa and I both spent a lot of time in and around and using this car as our daily driver throughout the week. It's nice. It's genuinely nice.
It's a nice car.
Very few things I've had to complain about it, and a lot of the things have actually kind of grown on me. And I think it's a perfectly good car for more so than just like it's a fairly cheap EV. I would so much rather have this than the Nissan Leaf, let me tell you what.
It's one of those cars where I can't think of anything I don't like about it, but I also wasn't really like wowed by anything, which isn't a bad thing.
Okay.
But I don't think that, I mean, this sort of car is certainly more you than it is me.
Sure.
But I mean, at the same time, like no complaints. If I knew someone that bought one of these, I'd be like, oh sweet, like you're gonna love it.
Yeah.
Oh, I quite like that.
Yeah, no, this is actually really smart because not only do you get a flat surface then that you can slide things out of without hitting the lip, but then
Shelf
and underneath you got like storage compartment under there. Yeah.
You know, my favorite part about this is it has blue interior.
It is. It's
I love a good
it's
blue
night
interior.
shift blue, same as the truck.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. I love that color. And so when I did the night drive on this, I walked up to it, right, and I went, and then I stepped back, and nothing happened, and I was like, oh, it's manual, but it's okay because it's very light.
It's very light, and it's very
light.
Manual's better in a lot of ways for us non-vertically challenged people because this
Shuts
is a
lot
lot
faster
quicker than.
beep, beep,
Exactly.
beep. Yeah, right.
Yep,
And
less
your dogs
annoying.
can't escape if you put a dog back there.
That is true. You can hold the dog in there.
Which lots of dogs.
As we've learned, there are
have learned,
plenty of dog
right.
owners.
Yep,
Fortunately, not in the NAV's rotation.
that's right. Yeah.
But let's get behind the wheel, talk about some of the things that I've kind of picked up on having it for the last week. And from what I understand, Chris, you did a comprehensive intro to this car while I was gone. Actually, where was I?
I was going to get sushi, and you were going to return the...
Whoa,
No,
was
you
the
weren't going
slingshot.
to return the slingshot.
I must have
No,
been.
you were. You
Yep,
were. Yeah,
yep,
you went and
yep.
returned
That
the
makes
slingshot.
sense. Yep. I had to return the slingshot. Thank goodness.
Yeah, because it started raining during my review, or my intro, and I was like, oh, Charlie's getting rained on.
Yes. Yeah, I did get a small bit rained on.
You did have the sling shade, though.
Let's not taint my good thoughts of the Bolt.
Okay, let's get back to the Bolt.
Slingshot.
What is this warning light? Because I parked it in the street last night because I was just a little bit nervous.
Yeah, I think that's
it's not a good thing. It's a yellow car with an exclamation point. I mean, something is wrong.
I looked around all the way through all the infotainment, everything, to try to find a little status indication of what's the matter. Couldn't find anything.
We should do a fixed integration on this. Does it have an OBD port?
It probably has OBD. I don't know if that would come up on OBD though.
Well, we'll try it later.
Someone bought a Genesis. Good for them.
Yeah, that's a beautiful Genesis.
Yeah.
It's an older one. So I like EVs. With this one, I didn't get the most satisfaction with the torque.
Really?
From a stop.
Okay.
But when you're going around corners and such, it's nice to have like that those nice instant inputs of torque, and it just lights up the front wheels everywhere, which is fun. But I don't know. I think it's something with the fact that this is an EUV. It just feels a little bit heavier, a little bit slower than the normal Bolt, and I really like the normal Bolt.
Well, did you try driving it in sport mode?
Yeah, I hit the checkered flag and I turned traction off. You can't turn traction all the way off, can you? I held the button and nothing happened.
Yeah, come to think of it, I did have some trouble making a lot of squealing, I think, on the live drive.
Were you trying to smoke? You were probably trying to smoke the tires.
Yes.
Like the Kona EV can't really do quite the level
Right.
that you can do with that car.
I think I really appreciate the tuning of the throttle and the steering and the regenerative braking. When you let off the gas pedal, it's a progressive, it doesn't yank you.
And you can give it more with the paddle.
Right, you can give it an immediate grab with the paddle if you need to.
Have you noticed quite a bit of torque steer?
Yes.
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 A lot of torque
If
steer.
you really got on it hard, it does kind of fight for you. And that kind of helps make it feel a little bit more exciting as well. That's something that...
No, I like the torque steer.
Yeah,
it's
a lot of
more
manufacturers
engaging.
have tuned torque steer out recently. That's not always a good thing, because if we come out of this corner, tires are pretty warm, you feel a little bit of grabbing at me. And it's...
You have to... It's nice because in this world of electric cars, you have to have certain things in here that are engaging, and the driving experience is part of that. And it sounds silly, but if you have a little bit of torque steer, and if we found the same thing with the Nissan Leaf, that it was just fun to drive.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think this is a much nicer place to be in here than the Nissan.
Oh yeah, it's a lot airier
and the
big moonroof.
Big moonroof. The materials are nice, much nicer than the LT model. I think that's a little bit of a shame that you have to step up to the Premier to get the nice stuff, but it makes sense.
I mean, it's a nice place to be in here.
Alyssa had initially entirely written the Bolt and all other Chevy products off as simply being Chevrolets, and she got to spend some time in this car and actually really came to like it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, her daily is a Maverick, so it's not like she's dealing with super high quality materials, so this would feel like a step up. But either way, she liked the very large screen with the wireless CarPlay that she literally
It's a nice infotainment.
It's coming right up.
It's a nice infotainment system.
Works really well. She liked having heated and cooled seats, even though they are quite loud, even on just level 1. Physical climate controls, all this. I appreciate there's not a big old shifter in the way, especially because the old Bolt shifter was very cheap feeling and large and phallic.
Yeah, those buttons feel nice.
This is out of the way, so you can reach in.
And also very easy and quick access to your one-pedal drive.
Right.
I had Emily try this last night, and she did one-pedal drive the whole time, but I think it made her feel a bit more comfortable to where if she ever needed to, get back to just driving like a normal car, button.
I agree.
Easy.
Yep.
Don't have to go in the infotainment. You don't have to hit the paddles every time. It's just on or off, which is nice. And it's decently quick.
Yeah, it pulls strong enough right up to highway speeds. Did you happen to notice that it is speed limited?
No.
92 miles per hour, allegedly.
That's great. I think I maybe got it up to 75 on the highway.
Okay. Yeah. So if you need to drive your vehicle at
92?
Greater than 92.
God, that probably drains the battery in 50 miles if you drive it that fast.
Probably does. Speaking of battery, it is nice how in this enhanced screen, it shows you both a maximum and a minimum to your range.
That is good.
It's a very smart thing that Chevy's been doing ever since the initial Bolt, and I think it's really smart because you want to know, okay, what's the worst case? Am I going to make it home even if I had all my climate on, if I were torrential downpour? That's a worst case scenario figure. And then on the flip side, you get a best case scenario. If I drive like a grandmother, what's the best
218,
range I
right,
can get.
exactly.
Yep, and then kind of a smack dab in the middle. And there's a little indicator right on the left to say which one you're trending more toward. So it shows that we are going closer to the minimum than to the maximum right now.
Yeah, I like that. It's clever.
I think the best thing about the Bolt is just how easy and approachable it is. You said Emily drove it for a little bit?
She did, yeah.
Was she comfortable
She liked
very
it.
quickly?
She liked it a lot. She had no complaints.
Exactly. I think it's more a car for the non-car people than for people like us. And you got to respect it for that.
Yeah.
They didn't try too hard. They didn't make anything like, ooh, let's be like an ID4 and have touch capacitive buttons on the wheel and climate controls all baked into the infotainment. It's just
A car.
easy.
It's just a car that happens to be electric.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fun little hatchback. Whee!
And you still get enough of that electric excitement to zip around people.
Yeah,
and
no,
everything.
it is quick. It's... No.
My biggest complaint with it is just the fact that it only has 50 kilowatt level 3 charging.
Yeah.
And I've said it in a few other of our videos, but I want to point out that we took a road trip to Alyssa's parents' house and back, 280 miles, round trip, and we've used 3 other electric vehicles for that trip. That's in quite good shape.
That is beautiful.
Yes.
Whatever that was.
We've used 3 other electric vehicles for that trip, and it took about 15 minutes to charge all 3 of those. None of them could make it on one charge. It took about 15 minutes to charge them all up to where we needed to get back. This would have taken 50 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's dramatically longer than 15 and was unacceptable. We had to take the Maverick.
Yeah.
So if you live in something like the Midwest, something like the West, something where you're going to be doing long distances at higher speeds, this might not be the best single car household solution.
No.
You could totally get away with it if you lived in the city.
But it's
Something
also
like
just
that.
a great second car. I mean, you'd have something
Yes.
else. Have something else that you're going to take on trips. Have this to run around town, run to the grocery store, run to work if you have a short commute.
Yeah.
It's most certainly not a road trip car.
Well, not even a short
definitely.
commute, even a long commute. I mean, if you had an 80-mile commute, you could easily own this
Yeah.
car. I mean, you have
Yeah,
you have
especially
240
if you
miles.
could plug in at work, and
Yeah.
just give you even more peace of mind.
Right. I mean, it is very uncommon for someone to drive more than 200 miles in a day if they're not taking a trip somewhere.
Mm.
Yeah, and this got 220 on our highway fuel economy test. So
There you go.
yeah, and while this one costs $43,000, they chopped about $4,000 off the price for 2023. So this one that we're driving would be less than $40,000 for
Okay.
all the bells and whistles with the Super
Wow,
Cruise.
it's built in Lake Orion.
Yeah, it is very close.
Neat.
Yep. So
the motor is Korean. That's okay though.
yeah, that's okay. I'm fine with the Korean motor.
Yeah, no judgment.
So if they could fix and improve the charging situation, and I mean, there's not a ton of cargo room. If you had this with 2 kids, it'd be tough to put a stroller in the back and groceries and everything. So it's definitely squeaking by with the term SUV, but
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Right.
Tall hatchback.
tall hatchback.
Mhm.
Although it does have a nice seating position that it's very easy to get in and out of, you know.
Oh, I'm glad that you're adopting that phrase.
Yes.
Oh, and cladding.
Yes.
Gotta have that.
Yeah, well, it's not an SUV without cladding. So thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the Bolt, technically the EUV, we shot all sorts of videos on it. Check the link in the description. I think good car.
I think good car too. Yeah, no, I have little to no complaints.
Daily Motor top tip, if you're going to buy a Nissan Leaf, check out the Chevy Bolt instead.
Give it a shot. See what you think.
We're Charlie and Chris with Daily Motor, and we will see you on the next one. That is the wrong order.
I was gonna say.
And we'll see you on the next one. We're Charlie and Chris with Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.